Hello and welcome to Decoding the New Economy. Today I'm joined by Barb Edson, the General Manager for Marketing at Windows Embedded. Barb, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you.
Now, Microsoft have made a big push in the last week into the Internet of Things. Would you like to kick off with exactly what Microsoft are doing?
Yeah, absolutely. So Microsoft has a really strong history with Windows Embedded. We actually announced at the Build conference that we were going to be offering Windows for IoT class devices, so small footprint devices, headless devices. But really the big news in the last 2 weeks has been about our new IoT service, our cloud-first service, the Intelligent Systems Service, that will enable people to easily connect securely to the cloud and capture data and manage those devices. So really building the Intelligent Systems Service on Microsoft's comprehensive data platform and being able to take advantage of the scale of Azure. So although Windows is very important for us and bringing that into the IoT class of devices, Microsoft's very aware that IoT is a heterogeneous environment. And so the Intelligent Systems Service is actually going to support any class of device on any range of operating systems, or even a sensor, for example. So we'll have a gateway strategy that you may connect. For example, you saw the example today of the London Underground, implemented by our partner CGI and Talent, their service provider, but there's a lot of sensors just in the escalators in the London Underground, where 3.5 million people transport each day to get to work. So within that, there was within an escalator, they know down to a 4-millimeter, erosion level that it'll stop an escalator. So that's a sensor feeding up through a gateway into the Azure Intelligent Systems Service.
Yep. And it seems to me that's a recognition that the cloud and the importance of the cloud with the Internet of Things, and also the big directional change that Microsoft's had in the last 3 or 4 years onto the cloud. Do you see that as part of the journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, we have a really strong history from the embedded perspective, but taking it from a cloud-first standpoint. So mobile-first, cloud-first, and as Satya Nadella has done such a great job of talking about, really a cross-platform company. And the Internet of Things, again, it's a heterogeneous world. And we feel that Microsoft's scale with Azure and with the data platform, great tools like HD Insights, which is our implementation of Hadoop, things like Power BI are going to enable us to not only securely connect to the device, but once you capture the data, to actually make use of that data. Because the data really is the new currency in the world of IoT. So how do you make strategic use out of that data?
Yeah, now that ties into something else with your existing product base too, because I imagine that what you'd also be looking at there is going down to levels such as Microsoft Excel, Visio, that sort of thing, about being able to do analytics on the desktop. Do you see that as part of the roadmap?
Yeah, absolutely. You could actually do that today in the Intelligent Systems Service. That once the data is in Azure, it's very easy to access that data from any traditional Microsoft productivity tool, whether it be, again, Excel or Power BI, or many people are going to do, big data projects. So that's where tools like HD Insight come into play. So because we're built on the Microsoft platform, the companies we're working with can use their existing infrastructure and really have a finished service to have an IoT solution. So lots of people have been doing this today, implementing IoT solutions, but it's not easy, it's complex. And so the Intelligent Systems Service will increase the time to value and then also allow partners to extend on top of the service. So it's going to be extensible, where you'll have a software development kit, where an independent software developer may actually want to go create a very specific solution, let's say for fleet management.
Sure.
So we'll do a lot of capability at the horizontal level, like predictive maintenance, telemetry, geofencing, and then an ISV will come in and get very specific to solve a business problem or a systems integrator. So massive opportunity from an ecosystem perspective. It's heterogeneous. It's also a big opportunity for Microsoft to be deliberately dependent on our partners.
How do you see the hardware plugging into this? So you've just had Nokia coming into the fold as it is, and that's a big part of, say, Apple's and to a lesser degree Google's and Samsung's strategies with the IoT. Do you see that as the handsets as being important to Microsoft in their cloud and IoT strategies?
So any device is important to IoT. It really depends on the complex business problem someone's trying to solve.
Yep.
So whether it be a Nokia device, a Samsung device, we need to be able to connect to those across our IoT cloud service.
Yep. Yeah. So it's mainly the software side of it that you're looking at there. How do you see this going in the next few years?
I see it being explosive growth. It's really an opportunity for, traditionally Microsoft has been talking a lot to organizations about their IT infrastructure. This is very much about operational technology. When I talk to customers, I'm not talking to IT folks. Sure. I'm talking to business people or line of business IT who are really working with the strategic assets in an organization that either drive efficiencies or drive net new revenue. And so I think it's just a great opportunity for Microsoft to continue to drive relevance with our customers around the areas that hit their bottom line or can really sort of propel them to compete and differentiate themselves in their marketplaces.
So what are the most interesting applications you've seen so far in your talking to clients about their IoT implementations?
Well, I think the one we saw today, with the London Underground, where what I find fascinating about that, or also Lido Stoneworks is another one, where these are historically very old companies.
Yes.
So there's infrastructure that might be 120 years old, or Lido Stoneworks is a stone manufacturer in the East Coast, where the gentleman, Elliot, he, from a small child, actually had to cut things by hand and do all this really very expensive stonework, and they've been able to take a very traditional business and automate all of it using Azure and the cloud services, create an IoT solution, and take just generational businesses and move it into the modern world and do things they never thought possible. So to me, kind of taking the old world and moving it into a modern world, but still having that great customer service, but from a different perspective. He's able to do things more efficiently. He's Lido Stoneworks has grown their business 10 times in just a few years by connecting to the cloud.
So from those lessons that you've seen, what's your advice to business owners and managers who are looking at moving over to the cloud and to IoT type services?
I think a lot of people are overwhelmed by it.
Sure.
I think they're hearing about the connected toaster. There's a lot of consumer buzz, which is great. I'm waiting for the day that the connected crock pot actually makes my dinner for me, because that's how good of a cook I'm not. So hoping that will come to be. But I think business people are confused by it. And so my advice, and actually if you talk to the leading analysts, Gartner analyst, they'll say start small. Start with a project, kind of take it, the intelligent system service allows them to do it easily because all the pieces are put together for them. So instead of thinking about this huge world of 212 billion devices, think about the Internet of your things. What are their specific things? Connect those devices, start small, get a few additional pieces of data, you can have a very big impact.
Just on that, what you're saying about the consumer side of it, it seems to me that that is a big problem at the moment with the IoT and the business applications, that we are focused too much on that connected toaster or the smartphone apps. So you see that the business apps, the commercial side of it, that's the industrial side of it, that's where the real growth is going to be for Microsoft.
Absolutely. You would actually think about, though, however, when you think about the consumer, we would be offering the intelligent system service. If you're a consumer, if you're a business that's serving the consumer, we do have a B2B2C play, so business to business to consumer. So if you're making a toaster, we will work with you to enable you to put the appropriate technology in the toaster so that you can connect to our cloud service. So we're interested in those consumer companies. It's just that we'll then provide them the right data through the cloud service and the Microsoft platform to then enable their customer service or better product engineering through that data.
Right. And just to conclude on it, Barb, what do you think is the most exciting thing coming down the pipeline in this field?
So I just think all of the data is really the exciting part of it, because technology is can be very. I don't think business people think technology is exciting. I actually think it's scary. And so I think the most exciting thing is we're starting to see real business problems be solved, and having services like the Intelligent System Service enables business people to go to their board of directors and instead of saying this is a science project, it's a real business project, and I can show you an immediate ROI over the next 6 to 12 months versus having something that is sort of kind of boil the ocean and what do I do with all of this, and we're making it very tangible, and that's very exciting.
So you're getting a real business focus into the IoT.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today,
Great.
Barb.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you. And thank you for joining Decoding the New Economy.